The year is 1984, and Hasbro and Takara have teamed up, taking the old 1983 Diaclone design of Trailbreaker and turning him into a big black truck. The original design of this truck was blue and also yellow. The blue color was more or less a navy blue. It wasn't extremely dark, but it still had a nice appearance to it, as well as the yellow version. The yellow version was a lot more happier type of yellow, almost a sunlight color. Moving on to the 1984 version that was released for the Transformers line is Trailbreaker. Trailbreaker is a Toyota Hilux. He's a really cool looking vehicle. He has some nice sculpted detail, not to mention he really has an awesome look to him.
This episode of Plasticon Reviews is brought to you by hospitality brand Berry Bunch O Crunch. Good source of 9 vitamins and minerals. Berry Bunch O Crunch, great for late night snacks and breakfast.
Taking a look at him, he's really cool. He's got these nice translucent windows all the way throughout, except for the side windows here. This is a translucent plastic, but kind of hard to see through, as well as these small little kick-out windows here at the sides. He does have ability to hold a Diaclone driver if you happen to have one, and it does have seat detail in there. It really looks kind of cool. It looks as if there may be a steering wheel sculpted in there, but honestly it's really not a steering wheel. Although these things were designed to go along with the Diaclone drivers, this gimmick was never ripped out of the design. This particular one I hold in my hand, though, is a Encore reissue, so it actually has a few differences. The big difference is a tampered sticker detail that would actually be real stickers on there. The other thing is, well, I'll show you that when we get to robot mode. Anyhow, as you can see, this thing has some superb detail throughout the entire thing. Has a really nice looking grille on the front. Very nice looking wheels. Actually has some detail on the wheels saying Desert Dog and Formula molded into the rubber. Really cool looking treads as well. And honestly, you can't really tell that it's a robot, even from underneath. It has a lot of stuff just tucked away. Just absolute superb design. The front portion is completely die cast, as well as these two little bits here in the back. It really has a cool look to him. Another interesting thing is they actually molded the taillights to actually stick out. Really cool. I do like this. Although you can't really tell what's going on the inside, you can possibly tell there may be a little bit of robot going on in there, but it's hard to tell throughout these little windows. Very cool that this thing turned into a little camper truck. It would have been neat if this was actually translucent versus it actually being tampered. In the original, this was a sticker as well. It does have a rub sign. That works pretty well, considering this thing's brand spanking new. But this being an Encore reissue, has some really cool detail going throughout the entire thing. But enough of the vehicle. Let's move on to the robot mode. Robot mode for this guy is real cool. Simply pull out the legs simultaneously. Move the chrome bits along the front axle. Looking underneath, you actually have a groove in this metal bit here. Those actually snap right directly into the front of the truck. Next thing you'll do is you'll flip up the feet, fold out the arms. Take care when you do this because the translucent plastic that these bits hold. Next thing you'll do is you will fold down the front of the cab and it will plug into this hole with that little peg sticking up right there. Next thing you'll do is you'll fold down the tailgate, fold back the camper, grab the head and accordion it up. Push the camper snugly back against the truck. Pull down the arm. Fold out the chrome bits. And with a bit of parts leprosy, you got Trailbreaker ready for action. Trailbreaker actually has a lot of detail. It's a very cool looking robot. He actually has a lot of sculpted stuff going on in here. Some sculpted vents in here, vents up in here, although I do know there's supposed to be stickers here. The stickers with the Encore sets don't really stick very well, so I'll have to get repro labels there. They normally stick around here, little bitty red things. It's very, very cool. Another thing he actually has, pushing on this little red button here, he has rocket punching action. Yes. And you can easily replace the rocket punch with an extinguishing unit. Or a blaster cannon. He also has this little bit here on the back, which is his force field emitter. Has a lot of molded detail in it as well, all the way throughout it. Very cool. Not to mention his head sculpt is absolutely superb. The main difference between the Encore version and the original is this is red on the original. The Encore is blue. As you can see, Trailbreaker has a very cool aesthetic. He has a nice stance, although he doesn't have much articulation. Mainly, it's just in his arms. He doesn't have any head swivel, nor does he have feet and leg movement. Although you can kind of cheat it by pushing one of the legs back, you can possibly make it look as if he is walking. He does have a very nice stance about him, and he's one of the robots I highly suggest getting for your collections. Although he really hadn't seen very many molds in the previous years, it's actually starting to pick up, going on with the IDW and the Legends version that was released. Although Trailbreaker actually has lost his name throughout the years, we will still always love the idea that this guy is pretty iconic.